There's a rather easy method of killing the mounted Golden Tree Sentinel boss at the very start of the game. It can actually be done with any class and weapon, even at soul level 0, but I have a few suggestions to make your life much easier. The timestamps are below if you want to skip ahead to the fight, but do consider subscribing if you're a completionist who wants to obtain all the weapons in Elden Ring, since that's what this channel will be focusing on. If you're wondering why you should even bother killing this boss anyway, this is what you'll get. Killing him rewards you with 3,000 souls and most importantly the unique Golden Halberd, which also has a skill ability as well. Now this unique skill is called Golden Vow. You basically raise the halberd aloft and pledge your honor to Erdtree, granting yourself and nearby allies increased attack power and defense, so it's fantastic for co-op gameplay as well. Now if you don't meet the minimum requirements of the weapon early on, you can also two-hand it, which reduces those requirements. Now the interesting thing about the Golden Halberd is it's also a faith weapon. It has physical damage of 134 starting out before any upgrades whatsoever, and a holy damage of 87 which scales with faith. Now currently the attribute scaling is Strength D and Faith D, but those do improve when you upgrade it. As soon as I've upgraded it fully, I'll add those stats to the description. As for the weapon's moveset, the normal attacks are a large sweeping arc, which is fantastic for PvE, while the power attacks have even further reach and also step forward with each attack, making it fantastic for staggering large groups of enemies. On horseback, it's particularly devastating, with a left and right-handed power attack causing a double hit windmill spin of the weapon, and also dragging it along the ground like this simply looks awesome every time you're preparing a power attack. But the issue still remains: how do you kill the Golden Tree Sentinel boss? While he is very much killable on foot, it's recommended to make it a lot easier that you also unlock your mount first, and also a weapon I recommend for this boss fight. To do this early on, you must first unlock the free resting spots in the starting area of Limgrave, which you reach after the tutorial. Resting places of grace are basically Dark Souls bonfires. After lighting the first one, you'll see a gold wisp pointing towards the church in the distance there. Next we're going to head over to that church so we can unlock the next one. So just run over and head through the front of the old church and activate the next rest spot. Now you're going to go ahead and look at your map, and you'll see northwards is a pathway that leads you to a T-junction. Put a waypoint just over here to the west of it on the map. Now you know where you're heading. Head directly north through the woodland towards the waypoint that you set, and soon you'll come across a campsite. Just keep following the mountain to your left and you'll see a big castle gate, and the final resting point is just over here. Now once you rest here, a lady will appear and you'll have the option to accept to be her simp. She will then give you a mount as a reward, and by the way, if you say no, you cannot actually level up for the rest of the game, so make sure you say yes. Next we can get the weapon that we need to make this boss even easier. There are a lot to choose from, but since this one is right next to us, we're going to get it. From the resting place, head over to the black cart and wait until the enemy in the distance has turned his back. Then walk right up behind this knight and light attack him to backstab. You need to be right up behind him to actually activate the animation. Once dead, we can open the chest on the back of this cart to obtain the Lordsworn Greatsword, a weapon with a strength requirement of 16, but it can be two-handed and still used effectively, so don't worry if you're playing a character with a low strength stat. We're just here on the map, directly north of the pathway, just to the left of the T-junction in the Gatehouse ruins. That's where we got the Greatsword. If you also want to unlock the whole map so you can actually see a detailed version though, I recommend running from the Black Carriage further down the path to pick up the map fragment, which is at the foot of this great stone monument here. Now you'll have a more detailed map. And next we need to fast travel back to the first step, resting place, and defeat the Golden Tree Sentinel boss ourselves. Now before you start attacking this boss, make sure that you hold Y and then press the right attack button to make sure you're two-handing your weapon. If you do not two-hand your weapon, you'll do a lot less damage even while on horseback. So if for some reason you're doing a lot less damage than you see me doing, that is going to be the reason. Then we're going to mount up and we're going to ride directly at the boss, like some kind of Western showdown. Always make sure while fighting this boss you're pressing the speed boost button, which is B on an Xbox controller. You're going to want to lock onto him and bait him back into the open field area. And I'm sorry for the FPS drop in this area. I'm playing on PC and currently the game has issues. Now the best way to do this is to hold down the power attack button until you get close and then release it for big damage and much wow. This might feel a little bit strange early on, but you will eventually get used to the timing. You essentially need to hold it down, which drains your stamina, and then release it as you get closer to the boss, and then you'll hit him each time. So essentially the game plan with this boss is to ride into him with your power attack ready, hit him once, and then immediately carry on riding away. This will usually mean he misses his own attack that's aimed at you, or he only hits your mount, as you can see, which avoids damage to yourself. It's actually a lot easier if you remained locked onto the boss throughout the entire boss fight, and also maintain distance unless you're going for a charge power attack. Basically doing a drive-by strong attack and constantly holding down the horse sprint button so you never get yeeted by the boss's attacks. To demonstrate in this example, I've let my horse die, just to show that even when he does die, it's still possible to re-summon him using one healing flask. Now you can only do this once per rest though, but as you can see it's possible for your horse to sustain most of the damage from the boss even if you mess up a few times. But again, it is also possible to do this without getting hit at all. And once you have the boss's moveset down, you'll find it a lot easier to dodge his attacks with this method. But right now the game is very laggy on PC, even with a 2080 Ti and Ryzen 9 processor, but I hope this will be fixed soon. After the boss is half health, he will start doing this shield bash attack, which often leaves him open for attack after he misses you. But do watch out, because it does have a ridiculously large hitbox. So do take care to maintain distance when he uses this attack, since his rather erratic movements can make it quite difficult to dodge. But during the fight it is also possible to stagger him, making him go to ground for a few seconds if you keep up your power attacks in a quick succession. That can be a great opportunity for some additional light attacks and extra damage, but do take care to get out the way once he recovers from that. And obviously after defeating the boss, you will be rewarded with the Golden Halberd, and I'm interested to hear if anyone's going to be using it in any of their character builds, or you guys just love the look of this weapon. I personally really like the description. A weighty halberd forged of gold, wielded by the Order of the Tree Sentinels, heavily equipped knights. Deals holy damage, in addition to its physical damage as well, which you can see in its stats screen. A masterfully crafted weapon that lives up to its heft, but it's difficult for one of mere human strength to wield. Check out the playlist below in the description for some more easy to follow guides, weapons, armor sets, and more to get in Elden Ring, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.